Waters.
Here.
Moore.
Here.
O'Kane.
Here.
Shaner. Here. Scott.
Here, can we stand for a moment of silent prayer followed by the Pledge of Allegiance? We apologize for starting late. We had some items in closed session that had to be taken care of, and we'll try to get back on track here. I don't see Ron on the active transportation. Peggy Law canceled, so we'll go right to the consent agenda, which is items 3 through 8B. Consider them to pass unanimously unless a separate roll call vote's asked for. If you want to speak on an item, please come up as I read that item. When you come up, please state your name and address for the record. If you want to speak on an item not on the agenda, please come up under citizen concerns. I'll move the consent agenda.
Second.
3 is a reading of the council minutes of November 27, 2023. 4 is a resolution reappointing Dan Moore to the Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center Authorities Board of Commissioners. I don't think anybody's going to fight you for that job, so thank you for continuing. 5 is a resolution amending the personnel complement, position classification manual, and salary schedule by adding the accounting coordinator position, reclassifying one administrative assistant and one accounting clerk to create a second accounting coordinator position, and authorizing said positions in the finance department. Items 6A through F are motions accepting or approving annual reports. A is the Active Transportation Advisory Committee. B is the Airport Board of Trustees. C is the Events, Facilities, and Tourism Advisory Board. D is Gileon Kosovo Sister City Committee. E is Planning and Zoning. F is the Board of Adjustments.
Mayor?
Yes.
I just want to comment on these reports. I read these annual reports. They're very important for us to have, and I appreciate the time that everyone spends on them. But what really jumped out this time for me are the 2024 goals that each group set out in their report. And it's just really uplifting and gives me a lot of hope that these 2024 goals are so, they're just progressive. So thanks to all that put those reports together.
7 are actions relating to agreements and contracts. A is a resolution approving a contract for transportation services with North Sioux City, South Dakota. B is a resolution approving change order number 7 to the contract with RP Constructors in connection with the 38th Street Booster Station Improvement Project. C is a resolution amending the purchase order with Burt Gurney and Associates for additional work on a Fairbanks final lift pump at the wastewater treatment plant. Mr. Pingle, be here. This is why you don't bid brand-specific pumps right here in your new $300 million sewer plant.
Yep. Note taken.
Okay.
These pumps, I will note, these pumps are from 1969. So none of us made that decision. So
Understand that, but we also, you will acknowledge there's only one person that works on them, which gives them a little bit of an advantage over other people. D is a resolution awarding an equipment purchase and services agreement with Parco-Nec for revenue control equipment for city parking facilities. Tom also knows that I'll be dead by the time they work on any of those pumps, so it won't matter, but at least I feel better today.
What year did you say those pumps were, Tom?
69.
I'm not going to make that many. E is a resolution awarding a software as a service agreement for Parco-Net for the revenue control equipment at the city parking facilities. 8 are boards, commission, and committee meeting minutes. Anybody want to be heard on any of those items? If so, come forward. Seeing none, we'll vote on that. Nine is hearing an ordinance vacating various rights of ways in the area bounded by, that vote passed 5-0. Bounded by Egbert, South Hennepin, Washington, and South Cleveland. The petitioner is Mike Feltz. P&Z recommends partial approval of the request. I'll move that.
Second.
Now, when I move that, we're moving the part that P and Z accepted.
You're moving it as originally applied for by the petitioner. So
Okay.
there would need to be an amendment.
Okay, well, that's fine. I'll move it as originally requested. And the hearing is now open. Mr. Nelson or who's, Lizer, who's speaking? Are you speaking on this one or? No, I was going to have, go ahead, you can come up. You come up, but he speaks first just because he's the head of the P and Z.
Yeah, sorry. Brent's got some stuff to add to that.
Okay.
I would just point out that the first two items in the ordinance, the vacation of Nicollet Street and the vacation of Dace Avenue, the commission recommended against vacating those, so the ordinance will need to be amended accordingly, if you agree with the commission.
Okay. Well, let's hear from the petitioner, and then we'll decide what we're going to do. Thank you. Okay. Now you can come up, sir.
Yes, Mike Feltz, 4444 Dace Avenue. I requested more vacation than what they recommended last time. And the reason being, I definitely wanted to clean up them properties and make them a lot nicer looking than they are. When I was looking at taking them terraces out, I was told I had to stay at least 10 foot away from the adjoining property. I had to make a bank there. And if I have to do that and the city still owns the street right there, that's going to really cut a lot off them lots. They're only 40 by 125 feet. And then as far as Dace Avenue, that wasn't recommended either. And that does not block anybody from getting to their properties on that. The city does not maintain that street. They were good enough to fix the two streets up there, which made it better for the other property owners. But Dace Avenue is what I've been taking care of. And I put crushed asphalt and everything on it, try to clean it up and make it better. I'd like to possibly concrete it and maybe make it even better than it is now. Thank you.
Question. Okay, anyone else be heard on this item? Please come forward.
Denise Murad, and I live in 342 South Hennepin. And if they close down 4444 Dace, which is in front of Mike's house, that's only one way out for us. And that's down a big steep hill, and it means in the wintertime, there's big ruts on the side, and I don't want to fall in one of those ruts and have to be pulled out. And so the only time I go in front of 4444 Dace is when the weather's bad. And that's as far as emergency vehicles getting in and out. You know, that's only one way to my house and other people that live up there also. And Georgia owns the land that's across from me, and down the road, you know, that's going to be one way out for anybody that might take that place. So, and in front on 4444 Dace, it's not like that's a good road at this point. And Mike says he's going to work on, you know, maybe concreting it someday, and that's fine. But the only one that's going to help is him. And so I want a second way out of my property. So,
Where do you live compared to Mike? Are you southeast then?
I'm further up the road. I'm on Hennepin.
Southeast, okay, okay.
And the only way out of my house is straight down the big hill.
Yep. Okay, anyone else?
Did you get your chance?
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
if you guys got any questions, the way the changes we asked or the vacations we were opposed to basically were affecting the adjacent landowners up there and blocking access for future growth of their land.
Right. And making it so they just have the one
Right, right,
in and out?
correct.
Hi,
Hi, ma'am. State your name.
Georgia Molenberg, and I live at 125 South Lakeport. All the streets that are open, going up to I live at the bottom of the hill. Everybody is up at the top. There's 3 houses. all the streets that are open should remain open, simply because the police go up there, if there's a fire, fire trucks have to go up there. All these people have to be able to get in and out. And not only Mike takes care of the roads, there's three houses up there, and everybody pitches in to do what they can do. And also the street between my 30 lots and Mike's 30 lots, I would like to be kept vacant to where nothing is done with it right now. Because eventually, if more houses is put up there, then, because I also have land on the terraces, and it can be developed. So,
You don't plan on having any more houses on the other lots? Not now?
not right now, but that's not saying it won't.
Or that you might want to sell them and somebody else could want it? Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So does this, do your comments then match up with what planning and zoning is recommending?
Yeah.
Okay, that's what I thought.
Yep.
I want to make
I
sure.
just wanted to
Yeah,
say something.
yeah, no problem.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Problem I have, I went up there early and that asphalt road that they're driving on now was so bad, nobody could drive up there. So we went out as a city and pulverized that road and made it passable. So they only had one way in and one way out all along. That's reality. Nobody was driving on that road to get up there. I made the mistake of putting it in four-wheel drive and doing that. I wouldn't have done that again, I can promise you. So to say all of a sudden there's less access is
Well, it's,
necessarily the truth.
it's not, it's, it's, the way we look at it is not for today. It's for everything going forward and just,
Okay.
as land changes hands, it just kind of blocks off a bunch of stuff if we vacate.
Because then you're taking away the ability for it to become more accessible.
Correct.
Chances of that happening are like,
Don't disagree with you at all.
Yeah,
Just
I agree with you, Mayor.
trying to look at further out than today.
well, if somebody wants to amend my motion to the acceptance of what the planning and zoning recommended, they'll have to do that, otherwise we're going to vote the way it is.
My recollection of what is being recommended by P&Z is everything except the vacation of all of South Nicollet Street lying between the north line of Dace Avenue and the south line of Egbert Avenue, and all that portion of Dace Avenue lying between the east line of South Nicollet Street and the west line of South Hennepin Street. Does that sound correct?
Yep.
The wishes.
I would make a motion to accept the recommendations of planning and zoning.
You'd amend the motion.
Or amend the
Please. Okay, thank you.
Doing-
Is there a second to that?
I'll second it.
Moore,
Aye?
O'Kane,
Aye.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott,
No.
Waters.
Aye.
Now do we have to vote on the motion as amended? We doing that on electronically?
Yes.
Passes 4-1. Anybody opposed to waiving the statutory rule? Somebody can move that then.
Second?
O'Kane,
Aye.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters,
Aye.
Moore.
Aye.
Now somebody needs to move second and third.
Move it.
Second.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott,
Aye.
Waters,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Okay, 10's a hearing and ordinance vacating the north one half of the north-south alley abutting 1918 Rebecca. Petitioner Todd Ruby, P and Z recommends denial of this vacation, so I'll move that.
Second.
And if you want to vote with planning and zoning, you will vote no.
Correct.
Public hearing is now open. Anything for the good of the order?
Anything new as far as updates or what we've heard from it?
No, nothing.
So the neighbors are or they're not in agreement?
Two that are not,
That are not?
Yeah.
at least two I read.
Correct.
Right.
Wade
that's the
Schultz,
way
planner. We did receive two different petitions from our notices that we sent out
Right.
that were against it.
Against it. That's the way I read it.
Mr. Ruby has provided documentation from one of those that the tenant is okay with it. And he also has provided in that packet for the RCA that there is also one, the house that's adjacent over on Isabella is also for it. So, yes.
But the homeowner's not for it.
Out of the 6 properties involved, 4 of them have voiced approval, and I own the other 2 properties.
Well,
4 of the people that live there, the other 4 properties.
I'm talking about homeowners.
Not the owners.
The homeowners, 3 of them. In the 4th one, the guy was out of town, and he had authorization from the homeowner. He's a renter. That was at 1915 Isabella. He got authorization from the property owner to approve.
I need your name and address.
Huh?
Name and address, please.
Paul,
Your
resident
name.
or
No,
the-
your name and address.
She got to have it for the record.
oh, I'm sorry. Todd Ruby, 1918 Rebecca Street.
Well, I'm kind of confused because we had 2 letters that I read that were opposed.
And
then-
what?
Go ahead, I want you to explain how we don't now.
We still do. Mr. Ruby has talked to the neighbors, and one of them has said that he is for it, and the other one he received from the person that lives there. It's not the deed holder.
So does Mr. Ruby have a letter that you will have on file that that homeowner is for it?
For
Not that the homeowner.
the
No,
1950
First one, we'll go to the second. You said he has the one that changed his mind, he's for it or something.
Yeah, 1917 Isabella Street. We have one that we sent out for the notice that was against it initially, and then he's provided documentation that they are for it.
Okay, and so then we still don't know about the homeowner, we only know what the renter says.
Yes.
On the last property.
Yeah, so 1915 Isabella is the one that's owned by Menard Properties. Bo Bronger was the representative. Todd Ruby has provided that the tenant is okay with it.
A letter of consent from the tenant. He said he had authorization from Paul Menard.
Yeah, but I'm not being smart, but I don't care what the renter says. I want to know what the homeowner, what the actual property owner.
We have both the letter from Mr. Bronger and then also from Paul Menard in there that they were against it.
Correct. And that's where one of the things I was thinking about this, and that's what I concluded. I saw both those letters, and that I saw that the tenant was for it, and things like that. I guess what I worry about in this situation is you have a homeowner that's not living in that day to day. And when you are living in it day to day, you want it more secure, like what he's provided. And that's what I worry about, is that then you own and you say, well, if I vacate it, my hands are tied, and then he's not going to have recourse down the road to be able to do anything, versus if I'm a tenant and I'm living there and I think it's more safe now, of course I'm going to say I want that. And so, it really puts you in a tight situation where a majority of the neighbors and homeowners are saying they're for it.
1915 Isabella, they have access to their backyard and their garage from the alley that runs parallel to 19th Street. The north-south alley, there's no access. They have no reason to access that alley anyway.
Is that true? I need to see an aerial probably of the property.
As a matter of fact.
Is this the one property that doesn't need that access, or what?
Yes.
I don't know. What do you think?
Where we always typically stand with it, if there's anybody opposed to it, we go with, we don't pass.
And I get it. Yeah, I get it too.
This is a tough one for us too, but we kind of have a standard operating procedure that we kind of follow.
If we deny, can they bring it back? if we deny, can they bring it back? Because maybe he can go get Paul Menard and the Bronger estate to sign off.
If I can get Paul, if I can find Paul Menard, I can. Lives out on K22 or something like that, but he's never home.
Can you point out to me now which one?
We have it up on,
It's up on the screen. You're okay.
Yeah.
Thanks.
So this is the property that's owned by the Menards.
Right.
And then this property, we have both the notice that was sent out that was against it, that came back against it, and then Mr. Ruby has provided documentation that they're okay with it. Mr. Ruby lives here, he also owns the property here, and then this guy at 1914 Rebecca is okay with it. We received both response from the notice and Mr. Ruby provided documentation.
And he's saying, Todd is saying that Bronger's property, or the Isabella, yeah, that one, 1915, can access from the other alley, so they don't need to necessarily worry if that one is closed. Is that kind of the argument?
Exactly. Right behind that house, there's a garage, and they access that from the alley that runs parallel to 19.
I don't know. What do you do, Mayor? I guess I don't want to set a precedent either of going against someone's wishes, but I understand. What'd you
yeah,
say,
it does
Mayor?
look like they can get to their garage from the other.
And there's parking beside, on the alley side of the garage. So in case they don't want to park in their garage, they can park beside it too. But I have no intention of
You're going to
closing.
have, for me to vote for, you're going to have to go get that letter, Ryan. That last one up in no man's land, those people never use that property, but all of a sudden when you want to vacate, and this one, there's just a lot of houses around it, so I'm not going to vote for it unless I know that
Therefore,
that Menard guy's okay with it. I don't know why we knew that we needed to have that in order for us to vote for that. And we told you the last time, I mean, my renters can sign whatever they want to, but that doesn't mean that I'm for it as a property owner. That's what concerns me.
So can I get a continuance then and try and find Paul?
I was going to say, that's the question, and the timeline then is, how often it opens up or when. And
We could do first reading today and then not do the second and third readings.
Okay.
And then you could get that letter.
it will give you a few weeks probably, or
If it comes back for a second, and third reading though, then can we make a motion to amend it?
Are you going to leave the hearing open, pass first
Yeah,
reading on
we're
the
not gonna-
ordinance, and
I'm not
continue
gonna
the?
vote to-
Also not take a vote today.
Well, a couple of things. You can leave the hearing open and do first reading of the ordinance, and then come back and continue the hearing and do second, or you can just wait to take action and defer it.
You can do first reading is what you,
Okay.
as long as we don't do statutorily close it.
Okay.
Anyone else be heard? So again, yes is you're for what he proposed, no, you're voting with the planning and zoning.
and we're under the assumption that we're only going to do this once to buy you more time, and then
Right.
we can switch.
That's right.
Okay.
That means it fails.
It does fail.
Oh,
That means it fails.
because I thought it would come back. Hold on.
Yeah, I thought it'd come back.
I thought we're
If
supposed to
you,
vote
if
aye.
you passed, right, if you pass the first reading,
Then it
Which
goes
you
with
would
the
have to
next one.
pass.
We can
Yeah, that's
change
why
our
I said you
mind.
had to vote yes.
would anyone like to reconsider
Yes,
their
I would
vote?
like
Well,
to
it has to be one of these,
reconsider, please.
it has to be somebody on the prevailing
So
side.
I'll move to reconsider.
Second. I apologize.
Is there a second on the reconsideration?
I have it. You seconded, correct?
Yeah.
I thought.
Well, one of us.
I moved it, you seconded.
Scott,
No.
Waters,
Aye.
Moore,
I mean.
You would vote aye.
I'm going to have to read in the paper tomorrow what I did tonight.
You're going to have to vote aye.
Aye.
O'Kane,
No.
Shaner.
Aye.
Okay, now, somebody want to move,
Defer the item till next week.
well, just,
Okay.
works.
All right,
It's
sorry,
okay.
Mayor.
Okay, so you can move it again for consideration. If you vote aye, that means first reading passes and it survives until
Yeah.
next week.
Yes, yes.
Okay.
who wants to move?
I would move it.
Is there a second?
Second.
Waters,
Aye.
Moore,
Aye.
O'Kane,
No.
Shaner,
Aye.
Scott.
No.
So that
Okay, it'll
means
be back next week.
it'll
Yeah,
be
but
back
I would-
next
That letter
week,
from
so you
Paul.
have more time.
Yeah.
Go get that
You
letter.
just need
So I
to,
have another week to get a hold of
Yeah.
you do.
Yeah.
Bernard. Okay, thanks, gangs.
11 is a hearing and resolution approving the
Thank you.
proposal to
Your
sell
leadership.
portions of vacated Shields Avenue, Sacagawea Park, adjacent to 1806 White House Street. The petitioner's Cox. I'll move that.
Second.
Yep, public hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed.
Never a dull moment.
We'll let the mayor explain that one tonight.
Mayor's got a basketball game for a grandson, 5-0.
I'll meet you.
12 is a hearing and resolution approving plans and specs for the Headington Park Splash Pad project. I'll move that.
Second.
The hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard?
Just a couple of comments, and Matt's not here, is he?
Angels. for
Angel's
those.
here. Hey, just a couple of comments that I was contacted by property owners that live in the neighborhood.
Okay.
And so could we keep, I've had that kind of day, and my thought process is just not clicking the way I want it to. Could we please look at or review the parking on the streets and what parking would be available when the splash pad is up and operating? And what kind of law enforcement will be required for a splash pad? Just kind of generally speaking, just the security or the safety of having the splash pad.
Patrol, or, sorry, Angel Wallace, Parks and Recreation Manager, are they inquiring about security cameras or actual PD patrol?
Probably both, to just review it, to look at it. So I think parking and security, I don't think I'm leaving out anything. I hope I'm not, but anyway, we can revisit that.
Would they like that to be communicated how?
Probably to the council. Okay?
Are we running water lines in for a future bathroom facility?
I do not know the answer to that.
Well, that's really important to me because I don't think any neighborhood, I don't think it's fair that we do these deals in some neighborhood. You know, I know you guys get tired of hearing it, but it's a fairness issue. We do these things in neighborhoods and all of a sudden some have bathrooms and some don't. And I know why you're doing what you're doing. I get that. You're doing the right thing. But I want to make sure we have future plans.
Okay.
We don't take 10 years to get it done, that when the CIP allows, that we get that put in.
Okay.
So we wanted to have the future water
I
line.
want to make
Yes,
sure we're
I
ready to
think-
go when we can, because those are canned bathrooms. We buy it,
Yes, they
set
are.
it, plumb it.
Yeah, prefabs.
So that's why I just want to make sure we're doing it.
Okay.
And I would agree with the mayor on that one, too.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hearing is, anyone else be heard?
Thanks, Angel.
Hearing is closed.
Yeah, thanks, Angel.
Passes 5-0. 13 is a hearing and resolution instituting proceedings for the authorization of a loan and a disbursement agreement with the issuance of sewer revenue capital loan notes. I'll move that.
Second.
Public hearing's now open. Anyone to be heard? Seeing none, the hearing is closed. Passes 5-0. Citizen concerns. Are any citizens to be heard today? Seeing none, we'll go to Mr. O'Kane.
So tomorrow is the Northwestern Iowa, Western Iowa Labor Federation open house from 11 to 1. And Sunday.
And it's down at the IBW, right?
At the WILF headquarters on, oh my gosh. Where?
Isn't it at the IBW hall?
Oh, I thought it was out of the Western Iowa Labor Federation on.
But for some reason, I think it's
5001 Harbor Drive.
Harbor Drive.
Yeah, it's at the labor, it's at the IBEW.
Oh, okay. Good catch, Mayor. And then next Sunday, the 10th from 1 to 4 is the 60th anniversary of the Human Rights Commission and the War Eagle Award. Thank you. At the Sioux City Museum. That one I know where.
What time is that?
That is from 1 to 4. And I believe they've contacted all the many of the previous commissioners as they can to attend it as well. So it should be well attended.
That it? Julie?
I don't have anything today.
Okay. Alex?
I was just going to say the NAIA tournament is still going on. We got next round of action actually starts in about 5 minutes. So I'm going to head down there, hopefully catch some of the action, cheer on the last remaining GPAC school, Northwestern. So it should be good, but that's all.
Yeah.
I believe so, 5 and 7, and then tomorrow, and then tomorrow's the championship round, so. Yeah, so if you haven't been there yet, make sure to go down and catch some of the action. That's all I have, Mayor.
Thank you. Dan?
I want to thank the mayor and the council for their support in reappointing me to the Woodbury County Law Enforcement Center, Law Enforcement Facility. We're making progress, and we'll continue to do what we're doing and do the best we can. Thank you for that. That's all I have, Mayor.
For all you Red Ranger fans, Steve Cardenas will be at the Acme Comics at noon on, sounds like something you'd be into. That's why I'm telling you, Matthew, I want you there. I might even have you read this if I get busy. Acme at noon on Saturday. I know that's kind of your game, so I didn't want you to miss it.
I'd like a follow-up report, please.
Yeah, there you go.
Can you do that?
I move we adjourn.
Second.
Moore.
Aye.
O'Kane.
Aye.
Shaner.
Aye.
Scott.
Aye.
Waters.
Aye.
Okay.